Hello artists, it's Mrs. Treat again. I'm excited to tell you that we are going to be doing a project on graffiti. Yes, you heard me right, graffiti. No, we're not going to be spray painting walls or trains, but we are going to learn how to draw graffiti using a pencil, Sharpie, and just white paper. And of course, I always love to add color because color, baby, color is where it's at. So I'm going to start with a pencil. I'm going to ask that you do the same. Often I do start in Sharpie, but being that I need to show you a step where we need to erase it, we're going to start in pencil. Please note that we are going to be drawing very lightly. Because we are going to be erasing it, you don't want to see it. So that means we're not going to apply a lot of pressure when we're drawing or writing our name. All right, right through the center of my paper, I'm going to have my paper nice and wide out in front of me. I'm going to write my name. First name, last name, nickname, I don't care. If you want to make this for a family member, you can use their name, your dog's name, it don't matter. Anyway, writing your name. So relatively large letters through the center, you are going to lightly write your name. Now I'm just going to write the name Treat, really nice and neat. Again, lightly. Uppercase, lowercase, it doesn't matter if you want to change it up. Do some upper, some lower. You can decide. Because in graffiti, there's really no rules. How you want to write your name. All right, you can see how I've got it written out in pencil. Now, we know graffiti letters are often sort of like fancy bubble letters. So I'm going to show you how you can take your name and amp it up to make those cool, funky graffiti style letter. So you're going to take your pencil and you're going to basically outline your letters to create that dimension. So the farther away from your original letter you are, the fatter your letters will be. Now, I like the look of a really chunky letter. So as you can see, I'm really coming far away from my letter T. Now, you're going to see I'm going to run into my letter R. That is okay. Quite frankly, that is celebrated. I want that because in graffiti, a lot of times the letters are interacting and overlapping and so on. So you really want that interaction of your letters. All right, same thing with my R. Of course, my E is going to run into it. I'm going to actually notch that E out a little bit to follow that little notch there. I think that will look cool. And again, I'm just outlining my letters. This is just a real easy way to create graffiti. Now, since this letter has an opening in it, I'm going to do an outline on the inside of my letter as well. And the same will go then for my letter T, or excuse me, my letter A. So add that circle in the center because I'm outlining it. And last but not least, the letter T. All right, so now you can see how if I erase my original letters, I will then have a graffiti style to my name. So grab an eraser or on the back of your pencil and erase that. Hopefully you didn't press too hard because we know if you draw heavy with your markings, it's very hard to get rid of those lines. All right, that's step one. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to create some more interest in our letters. We can stop here and then create some fabulous background, but we're not going to stop just yet. We are going to come in and add some visual interest to our letters. That is something like you want to add, maybe a lot of times you'll have an arrow, or you want to add a little hat or a crown or something on your letter. So maybe, for example, the top of my T, if I wanted to add some real interesting element, I could draw a little crown because I'm the queen of the classroom. On the top of my name, just like that. All right, to make it a little more interesting, a lot of times you'll see in graffiti there will be outlined. Yet again, there's lots of layers to sort of build up their word, whatever their word may be. So I'm going to just take my pencil, or at this point, if you want to switch to Sharpie, you can. And noticing I'm following the same shapes of my letters. Outlining it all the way around. If I go off the page a little bit like I do over here, that is fine by me. All right, so now we have an additional layer. You can start to see it come to life. At this point, I'm going to switch over to Sharpie and I'm going to outline everything I've got. Then I'm going to show you what to do with the background. All right, now that I've outlined everything in Sharpie, it's always smart to come back and erase everything so you get rid of all your pencil lines to really clean your work up. Remember, that's good craftsmanship, which keeps your work neat and clean. All right, next step is we're going to create some interest in our background. We're going to use a nice variety of lines and shapes to really bring this process to life. We're going to go straight to Sharpie in this one because there's really no reason to stick to pencil. Pencil's all you got, you are more than welcome to use it as well. Or you could just use a Crayola marker and go with that as well. All right, so we're gonna divide our background into a section so we can have a nice variety of different patterns and textures in our background. And there is no right or wrong way to do this. If you wanna use a ruler and do straight lines, you can. Or if you just want to divide wherever, again, there's not a right or wrong way to do this, into different areas to create an opportunity to change up the patterns in your background. All right, so now I'm going to think of our different lines. We've got swirls, we've got dash lines, we've got zigzags. You name it, you can come up with something interesting to create some interesting patterns in each section of your graffiti background. And of course, after this, we're going to come back in with color because we think of graffiti as being really fun-filled, colorful, action-packed, and an opportunity to do some really great things with color as well to bring it to life. And you as the artist get to make those decisions, and you can use whatever medium you have, crayon, color, pencil, marker, even watercolors if you'd like. All right, and you're going to continue with your background. If you want to add a little more interest with your letters, I'm going to show you a little trick. What we can do to add a little interest as well here. So let me finish up this pattern in my background. Again, you're the artist. You do not need to do the same patterns as me. Be creative. This looks like a chain link, doesn't it? That you get to decide what yours looks like. It can be any patterns you like. All right, something interesting for the letters, if you want to come in and add like circles or patterns in your letters, you can. It might get a little busy if your background's busy and your word, but if you want to add kind of little short little dash lines along each edge, notice they're all slightly different in length on each of my letters. Some of them I have just a single dash. Some of them I have more than one, following the curve. It just makes it a little, almost looks like it's shiny, which is kind of cool because they might be metallic letters. So notice I'm doing it roughly around every little area, left and right on my letter. So that's something you can add as well that makes it look a little more interesting in my opinion. I'm going to continue with my patterns in the background, add my color, and you'll get an opportunity to see what it looks like here in just a moment. Enjoy.